I'm continuing on from where I last left off. From the past video, the hour video, continuing on now. Hopefully I don't have a lot of lag and I get at least a good hour before I have to get offline, or hour or two. Um, Try to see if I could isolate a lot of background noise, but you can't force people to do anything. So, that said, let's move forward. I'm not sure if the game, I mean, I understand the game is autosave, but what I don't know is for certain is at certain points does it autosave in mid game, or do you have to actually be at a control point for it to autosave? So I'm not sure yet. I'll have to find that out sometime later. And I'm gonna cut off my mic and just play this one straight through without giving my opinion. The only time I give my opinion is when I think it's relevant to do so. I'm probably gonna broadcast Horizon Zero Dawn after this today and see if I could get that knocked out as well. Hopefully my internet is up and running by then as well. Alright, so it did save from my last checkpoint. So they might have, okay, so when I was playing, I stopped at a certain section, and then I ran through the executive door, which stayed. Okay, I ran through the room. I'm just red dot right here. So I ran through a room coming into this executive room, and what I did is, as I ran into this room from there, this didn't look like this at all. So as I ran in, I jumped down. I fought off at least 3-4 guys. One was carrying a heavy tactical armor. It's not too far from the last video. I just had to enter one room, take out those 2 guys, and then reset this room. And now I'm at the save point and my first fast travel point. I have the ability to change outfits. I didn't expect that, and I'm pretty sure the control point would have been either a save point or fast travel point, but I didn't know that the control point would actually have fast travel. Especially I didn't know it would have an outfit. So this is kind of nice. This is kind of nice. And from the last video, we got objects of power. And from the 2 guards, I took out the 2 heavies and then the other 2 regulars. I got these. And I don't think I got anything for the gun. Oh yeah, I did. I got something from them from the gun. These 2 right here. From the heavy guy, I got headshot damage, 27% headshot damage, and then from this one I have 12% reload, and this one I got exclusive to shatter, spin, and grip. So I'm gonna go with more headshot damage and try to see if I can get them in the head faster. I think I kind of like the one I have on, which is more health pickups once you take someone out. I think the headshot one will work more important as we get, I mean, not the health one will work more important as we get further into the game. Right now I could just use the headshot one and try to see if I could do more damage before worrying about health and running out of ammo. So that was interesting. From the last video, we got objects of power, and this was what I found in the room right before I came into this room, which is just a broadcast.
Reminder, if you experience an unanticipated building shift, follow these simple steps. 1. Search the room for any altered items or objects of power. 2. Carry the altered item or object of power to the nearest safe room. 3. Wait for Bureau staff to find you and the object. If there are no altered items or objects of power in the vicinity, then reach your supervisor via the nearest intercom and await further instructions. Thank you for your attention.
Now, if you hear background noise, I can't do anything about that. People in the apartment are real shitty. Either they go to sleep or they stay awake all day because they don't have a life, or you know, they go to work and then they go sleep at a certain time, they wake up at a certain time, they have their little fun, they laundry, and they mind their own business generally. That's the way I like it. However, these walls aren't soundproof walls, and I'm not streaming to make money as a streamer, so I'm not going to buy something to isolate the sound. So what you see is what you get. I'm not making this game for, or this channel for anything other than having fun and giving a little bit of information. So if you hear people in the background while I'm speaking on the mic, I'm going to try to get a better mic this week so I could go directly to my mouth and isolate noise around me. And that's about it. I mean, I'm not going to try to get anything fancy, like any fancy cam or anything like that. It's probably just a better mic. And sometime this year, I'm going to get a PlayStation 5. Maybe the summer of this year, I'll get a PlayStation 5. I think the price of PlayStation 5 is too high right now. And in this, the last thing we collected was the object of power, which is this.
Objects of power can cause or be
I'll cut off
results
my
of
my
AWE's
mic right now,
altered world
so
events.
that I'll cut off my mic right now, so the remainder of this gameplay don't have to hear my voice or any background noise. Everything I stated from the past video is in the past video, and I reached this control point. And I'm pretty sure everything will be self-explanatory to figure itself out once I just clicked on certain files and stuff and read it. I guess anyone who watches this video can see it for themselves. My main interest is the loadout. From the last video, I found out this game has multiple loadouts that you can put for your weapons and for yourself. And I find that fascinating. That means I could play this game more than 1 or 2 or even 3 times and see if I could beat the enemies with a specific loadout for the 2 weapons I'll have and for the uniform I'll be wearing. And if I could go through it using each one, it depends on what I'm offered. On certain specific loadouts, that'd be great, because then that means this game is just not just a linear game. You could actually have loadouts for this character and play it like you're playing with a defensive build or an attack build or all-rounder build, and that to me is good. Before, this game was at I think the last one I said the video was at 3.3. I'm gonna put because they have modifications, drop modifications of very different type. I'm gonna give them that extra point for that as well. So I'm at 3.4 now. For different variations between modification types that I can get. So that's a 3.4 right now. So as long as the game keeps getting better and things keeps getting much smoother, and the story just gets even crazier, because this is that type of game. If you're expecting something that's not like X-Files type or Supernatural, then you're in the wrong type of game. But if it keeps up that aesthetic, I would enjoy it very much, and probably give it a high score. That's if certain things stay on point and they don't fall off. So I'll cut off my mic right now, and I'll click on the objects of power once more to see if I missed anything for the last time. But the majority of this playthrough would be without a mic for the next hour and a half. And if I say anything important thereafter, it would be on something I believe is specific that I think should be stated in this video. Just like I stated at the very beginning, gave my opinion on how certain things are working from the beginning of the game before I start playing. So I'll do that right now. I didn't mean to do that one. I meant to cut my mic, not stop the broadcast or pause it. So I'm gonna pause. There you go. Alright, so you see, this is one that's very important. And surprised I got it this early, but it's good. This is highly important. You see, as in human history, urban legends are things that people just claim to have made up based on they've seen ghosts or they've seen demons or they've seen monsters or the boogeyman or something's in their closet or Bloody Mary or um, they see their dead family members or they see presidents and so on certain things that doesn't make much sense. And this relates to the altered world events at the AWE because it's stating specifically not backwards but forwards that urban legends. Let's say for instance the boogeyman. Let's say that word urban legend didn't exist. Let's say the word was the boogeyman are believed to affect the creation of altered materials. So if the boogeyman affect the creation of altered materials, but can also dictate the characteristics of an altered world event. So the boogeyman himself can dictate the characteristics of an altered world event. And that altered world event is something from the unknown pushing itself onto this world. So just that characteristic of that individual itself can dictate the characteristics of how the altered world event will play out when it comes to the altered material, the objects of power will come into existence. So it's not just the boogeyman himself um, affects objects of power, but affects the type of altered world event to happen. So let's say if an angel was an altered, was an existed, and was pushing through that altered dimension onto our world, and it would fashion that altered world event of pushing onto our world through related objects and has resonance of itself affect that um, altered world event on the subconscious through astral plane to ours in relations to its existence. So it would have to be whatever is perceived, whatever we see in this world must have some type of fashion relating towards angel. It must have something to do with light. If you're going in an era where it's dark, you probably won't be able to access that angel, or certain things that are considered toxic won't be able to access that angel. It can only be everything that's affected related to that angel must be closer towards itself than anything else, and it will fashion everything else around it to its existence relating to it. So if you have a lot of statues of, I guess, of um, goodness or of other angel statues of angels, it existence of that seraphim will force itself onto those statues and affect them in a way because it's related in somewhat to itself, and it'll force everything um, around it to relate to itself. Just like the boogeyman will force everything related to itself into this world and fashion it according to itself. And any object that's affected in this world that have some type of association closest to itself will be fashioned as well. So I guess the gun being the object of power, the reason why that the gun that she uses was affected is because it was this type of object based on the circumstance of the type of thing most related to it that forced itself onto the world or part of that thing. So maybe the alter world event that happened and the object of power that was affected in the area, which could have been a cell phone, or well, not a cell, could have been a stick or a hammock, but it chose a gun because the gun was a closest representation of what that thing was um, related to of that world. So maybe that creature or thing or the hiss, or the thing that created the hiss or related to the hiss, is mostly related, has some type of feature associated with um, mechanics of a gun. Um, it could be a giant-sized gun for all I know that have arms and legs. Who knows? Uh, but that's basically what this is saying. That it's not just that all urban legends affect everything around them at a certain point in every event that follow after are thus a product of those urban legends, such as Excalibur and the other stuff weapons they say are simply objects of power, are simply examples of the thing most related to it that affected onto those objects themselves. So this is very important. Um, certain certain paranatural phenomena contain clear elements of popularized folklore. Yes, AWE that only occurs in blank appear on the blank. These details, living in the minds of so many, have been given strength through belief. Alright, and that does make sense. Religion and certain factors of religion, or even heathenism, or a certain theology and certain arcane experimentations and very backwater beliefs are all solidified through events that happen that reinforces the subconsciousness to believe that things are happening that the consciousness cannot, of the human mind, cannot explain logically. So this makes sense why it used the subconsciousness as a way to force itself into the world, because a part of the human mind calculates things and the other part cannot comprehend things that don't follow within calculations. So thus urban legends are not just stories for children, they are apparent natural realities waiting to happen. So that also makes sense. So this is very helpful, and it's another point of solution related to all the other texts. Not so much Trench's photo, not so much bureau expenditures, but everything in this game so far has some type of relations to each other. The moles, the cell phones, everything. So this one was very helpful as a research document, and it's very much associated towards the hiss and where they come from and why they're the bad guys in here, and if they even are the bad guys or is they're simply just connective wiring power and stop that circuit breakers. Let's say they're forcing power through a wire and we're the circuit breakers and we just have to experience the flood of what these things are. So who knows? We'll find out later on. So I'll cut my mic back off, but I had to state this one specific because that was very important, the urban legend stuff. That's part of history, that's part of folklore, that's a part of um, unforeseen circumstances a lot of people look into to this very day. And you get a lot of arcane science through folklore experimentations and alchemy and alchemic experimentations, not just stuff that has to do with God and devil and pentagrams. You know, it's much deeper than this. So hopefully the people in this game did a lot of research, just like the people from Atlas when they do their Shin Megami Tensei games. So I'll move forward.
I can't tell you how happy I am to talk to somebody sane.
The feeling's mutual. Yeah, I'm Pope, Emily Pope, Dr. Darling's assistant.
My turn. Should I lie? Jesse Faden. I'm just visiting. I should have lied.
Oh, shit. You're the new director. Hold on. We're coming out.
Director Faden.
Call me Jesse.
Okay, Jesse. I'm Emily. Look, somehow, this hostile force, this
Hiss?
that works? Somehow the hiss managed to infiltrate the building without any warning.
And just like that, my name for it is official. The hiss. Like the sound of poison gas leaking in.
We're in full lockdown. It seems to have spread everywhere and to everyone not protected by an HRA. And, extraordinarily, you. You are the director, and that makes you special by definition. Trench is no longer the director, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. This whole situation is just a lot.
Trench is dead. Shot.
Ah.
I found his body. And the gun. Do I tell her it looked like a suicide?
The service weapon.
Also, and this can sound crazy, but he keeps appearing to me, saying things. Control point? Push the
You did that? And you entered the building when it was already in the lockdown before you became the new director? How?
I'm not ready to tell her about you yet. A janitor let me in.
I love it. This is fucking unbelievable. I can't even... Look, Jesse, I have a million questions, and you probably have a million more.
Like, do you know my brother Dylan? Not yet.
But there's something I need to ask you to do first. If you can cleanse a control point, then you can maybe cure those infected or possessed by the hiss. Because if that's possible, our options are very different.
Emily Pope. I don't know her, but I like her already. She's the opposite of the faceless agency I've blamed for what happened to me for so long. But I can't trust her yet. Or rather, the bureau she's a part of. Yes. I can try. I'm speaking for you, of course. We can try it together. Okay. You with me? We did it before. Push the hiss out. has burrowed too deep. Ripping it out rips them apart.
Jesse, over here. We need to make a plan, Jesse.
I can't cleanse them.
I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it. Listen. The Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time. That's enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an Altered World event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very...
Okay, so this is very important. I think I might have missed it past before. What she's talking about 17 years ago, I think that's the Willow R event, the otherworldly event Willow. It could have been at Alaska when she was a child. It had something to do with her brother. The whole purpose of her being here is to find out what happened to her brother 17 years ago, and the Bureau covered it up. So she's been working behind the scenes or working with certain organizations for a long time, and eventually I'm assuming she got promoted and along the ranks, and until she was able to access different type of bureaus, and then one day she was able to go into paranormal research and become part of this organization, but not at this location specifically, the oldest house. She could never find it because it was probably kept secret from her, and she had to rise to the ranks in order to be able to get access to this place first. It wasn't something that could be revealed to her. She was probably always given the runaround, but now she's finally found the oldest house. The only way she was able to do that was to take government jobs and associated with the paranormal. But she could have never found this location before. But this location has something to do with what the people who showed up to the Willow R 17 years ago. If the Willow R is the actual same one that happens to her, and if it is actually in Alaska. So more information is needed, but I think this place has a main factor towards what happened to her, and it's to be seen, so we'll see.
Classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us. And Director Trench would know.
Trench. The ghost, or whatever he is. He mentioned something called the hotline. Said I should find it.
It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone. A direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the hiss.
Where is the hotline?
It's kept in the communications department through the mailroom. It's part of this sector, so we can access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you.
Okay, that's my next stop.
That's Tomasi's department. He's the head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier. Keep an eye out.
They call me the director. But that's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the hiss destroy it all.
I know this is all new to you, so don't hesitate to ask me anything you want to know. There are no stupid questions. The door to the comms department is just outside the boardroom back in the lobby. They should have gotten it open by now. Follow the signs to the mailroom. You can get to the hotline containment chamber through there. Good luck, Jesse. See you back here once you have the hotline.
Thanks, Emily. again. Our welcome message. Overpowering here. You don't want me anywhere near it. With you on that.
Just look at it. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on. And they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. OOP. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched 3 dozen pencils. And once, we even launched a cup.
Reminder.
Just look at it. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on. And they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. OOP. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched maybe 3 dozen pencils. And once, we even launched a cup.
Communications. We're on the right track.
Stepping to the FBC, there's lots to do, there's lots to be, but you don't touch, and those three much, let's join the Treasure Keys, let's join the Treasure Keys.
Hey, Meg! What's wrong?
My mom's dead.
I'm so sorry, Meg! What happened?
Stepping to the FBC, there's lots to do, there's lots to be, but you don't touch, and those three much, let's join the Treasure Keys, let's join the Treasure Keys.
Hey, Meg! What's wrong?
My mom's dead.
I'm so sorry, Meg! What happened?
I don't know. They blacked it out.
It's like the director says. Confidential and children both start with C.
And the director's a poophead, a dirty, rotten, fart person.
Dad says my mama went missing in actions. She walked into the city and didn't come back. I don't know what missing in actions is, but I sure wish someone would find her.
I'll help you look, Topher. We'll find your mama together. I don't know. They blacked it out.
It's like the director says. Confidential and children both start with C.
And the director's a puppet! A dirty,
object of power. Something must have latched onto it. We need to cleanse it.